So guys, it's 3 minutes past. Let's not wait anymore. Let's get this show on the road. So a warm welcome to all of you that's here tonight or this morning, if you're on the other side of the world, right, Jorge? I'm Fredrik E. Kastenholm. I'm the CRO and CMO combined of Omnitas Consulting. And I'm here today to talk to you about how to choose the right CRM and what to think about really when choosing a CRM platform. A little bit on today's agenda. I've changed my slides now, so I hope everyone can see that. The agenda for today is we'll go through what is a CRM and who needs it. And we'll do that quite quickly because I'm fairly sure that all of you that's here know why you probably need a CRM and know what it is. What kind of questions are we supposed to ask ourselves before we even start looking for a CRM, or more exactly when we start? And then what are the following questions that we might be wanting to ask ourselves when we have come a little further and we're starting to make our shortlist? We'll delve in some ways into the pricing of different systems and what to look out for a bit when it comes to those. I will talk a bit about security because this is a big thing, especially if you live and operate within the European Union today. Then, of course, we're going to talk about some of the larger mistakes people actually making, maybe the biggest one of them all. And then on the end, we'll have a Q&A. So with that said, what is a CRM and who needs it anyway? A CRM stands for a customer relationship management, and then we tack on a system. So that's basically what it is. We handle the relationship between us and our clients, and nowadays even our vendors and stuff like that. It's basically a system that gathers, or should gather, all information on our clients, on our leads, our prospect, and put it into one place so we can actually use that data. It should be helping us to analyze such data, because this is hopefully where we can find the answers to where do our customers come from, what type of customers do we sell most to, what kind of client do we have the shortest sales cycle and all that stuff. A good CRM, in my opinion, should at least automate some parts of your job, because there is a lot of admin in sales and in customer care, and a good CRM system should automate some of that. It should also give you a precise overview of your customer health. So how's my relationship really with my customers? Are they happy with me? Are they not so happy with me? And if so, what can I do to maybe make them more happy with me? And then, of course, our traditional sales pipelining. What kind of opportunities do I have? How far along are they? How much money is it potentially in them? And so on and so forth. And it should also let different departments sharing the information, because when CRM started out, it was very much a system for the sales department. Today, it's a system that's hopefully used by far more departments, like marketing, like support, like all kind of departments that actually goes near a client. And product development should probably be in there as well, because there are loads of great data in a CRM system that could benefit the development of future products and so on. So it's not just a glorified contact book, which it started out as, not anymore. It's so much more. It's hopefully a rather intelligent system that can give you in-depth information and give you the ability to really manipulate your data and see where are we right now. But with all of that, I promise to keep this rather short. Who needs a CRM? Well, you see my bullet points here on your screens. What I'm actually trying to say here is everyone. If you sell anything, if you have clients at all, if you want to grow, if you have clients, you want to take care of them, right? If you want to grow, you need data to analyze to see how can I best do that. Otherwise, it's just gut feeling and praying for the best. And that's usually not the best business strategy. It's actually not a business strategy at all. Companies that aren't made up of people who are fantastic at just remembering everything that passes their way and then instantaneously share that with all their other colleagues that have the same set of features. So CRM system makes us be on a level playing field. So we all have basically the same information, so we know where we can go, because most companies today are maybe not just one person that can have everything in his or her own head. We are several people, and we need to share data so a client can get the best help that we can give them. And it's not always the same person that can give all kinds of help, but wherever we are in the process, we are going to need to have it so everyone can have that information. Sorry, there we go. So, but with that said, short background on what the hell is a CRM. Now, what we came here for today. So, a checklist. I tried to make a checklist for you that these are the questions I think you should ask yourself before and during your process of getting yourself a new CRM system. So the first 5, this is just at the beginning when you have figured out that maybe we might need a CRM or a new CRM because the one we have don't cope with our processes and isn't up to par. So the first question, what is it I want from my CRM? What do I want it to do? That's maybe the most, because you can use a CRM as a glorified contact book, and then, well, anyone will do probably. But most of us, we want to do more. We want pipelining. We want maybe business analytics. We want the automatic creation of quotas or stuff like that. We want to keep our product portfolio in there. There's a load of things we might want our CRM system to do. A very popular thing today is basically for CRM to handle invoices and stuff like that and be integrated with, for example, a bookkeeping system. This is the first question I think you actually should ask yourself. There are no real 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet kind of a list here, but this is an important question. So I think this should be really one of your first. Let this question take some time. Do put some pondering into it. Then the next one, who's going to use it? Well, is it just for the sales team? And if it's only for the sales team, why? Do no other of your departments in your company handle clients or are in need of this type of data? And if yes, and we still say only the sales department, why should they keep their data separate? The power of big data is to actually gather everything so we can analyze it together. So have a deep think on what teams might actually use this kind of data and could also contribute to this data. Marketing department, sales department, support department. Those are 3 main ones maybe, but there are more. Like we said, the product development teams, stuff like that might want in on this. Nuggets of gold in there for them as well. But how many users are we talking about? Because most, or basically all CRMs today are SaaS solutions. So that's software as a service, cloud services, also known as. So they will probably charge you a subscription fee based on the number of users in the system. You don't buy something off the shelf and install it on a computer or a server anymore. That's no server updates, no server upkeep, no cost for running a server, anything like that. And it's also most likely a software that will, what do we need to integrate into our CRM system? I'm quite sure you have loads of systems today. I see a few of you that's here today. I know you are users of the Adobe suite. I know you are the users of very certain billing and bookkeeping systems. I know some of you are the users of very specific mailing services like MailChimp, GetResponse, etc., Active Campaign, stuff like that. So have a good think on what we have figured out, what departments probably going to need to use it. Then take a good look at what systems do they use, because we want that data as well to go into the CRM system so it can become that basically one source of truth when it comes to our client. If I'm in the sales department, I can see, yeah, okay, this lead or this client have gotten these emails and so on and so forth. Have a good think on what will we probably need to integrate, because before you start making your shortlist, make a rough budget at least. How much can we spend? I would advise you to maybe calculate this as a monthly cost per head, because that is how basically all prices will be shown to you by the CRM systems or these SaaS solutions, because that's the main thing, like you all know. So maybe if you say, yeah, I have $10,000 a year to put towards this, okay, but then divide that over 12 and then over the amount of users you will potentially have, and then you have a better inkling on where you stand from a pricing point. So it will be easier for you to compare later on to those CRM systems. Those are my main 5. So start with those and really build them out. Don't answer with like yes, no, yes, no. Actually have a sit down, do it in a group, like a group exercise. Pull in people from the departments that you need and have a sit down and actually do your homework. When we have gotten that far, then we should continue on. But now we're in a phase where we are actually starting to look at actual CRM systems. So we have made our shortlist. We ask stuff like, is this a scalable system? Some systems might be fair or good where you stand today, but how will they move with you as you grow, as you expand, or as you scale your company? Or if you have no plans whatsoever to actually scale your company, make more money, hire more people, whatever, then they might be fine forever. But it is a very important question to ask yourself. Is this a scalable application? Can we keep this in the future? Because I have been consulting many companies having this problem, that they have started out with a too simplistic CRM system, grown a lot, and then needed to actually change the CRM system. They couldn't go up a tier plan or whatever within the CRM system they had to get the features they needed. And then they got into the hassle of actually changing CRM system, and changing CRM systems might be tricky if not done very carefully and very correctly. It's one of those, it's a kind of a logarithmic scale to how difficult that might be. Small company, not that big of a problem. Medium company, it's a bit worse. Big company, oh, that's a sure. So have a think on that one already from the start, because you might want to let that actually affect your choice later. Are there any available training or support with the systems you are looking at? And if so, how much? Because you're probably going to need it. It's a new system. Even if you're tech savvy as few, there will be functions and features that you might not even find unless you know about them and actually get shown how they work. And all systems are built with a kind of method and a way to think, and that differs between different systems, even though there are some standard kind of features nowadays in the world of CRM. But you are going to need this. So have a deep look on what kind of support do we have? Is there training to have and extra cost, or is it included in some way or form? Have a deep look at the extra benefits. As you know, I'm a Monday consultant, so this is where Monday shines, for example, because Monday can be your CRM system, but it can just as well be also your support ticketing system, your project management system, your HRM system, basically anything, and all within the same price as you are already paying for the CRM solution. There's no extra cost to this. Have a look at those. There are other systems that have similar things, or maybe not as wide as Monday, but definitely others. So have a look at that, because that might give extra value to you for the price you will be paying towards the end of all of this, and see what you need and what you don't need. We get into the features, because I have avoided talking specific features until this point, and that's for a reason, because features shouldn't it's easy to get blinded by features, and I've seen it over and over again, and I basically see it on a weekly basis. People are talking features because that's easy. Don't. Look to your workflow, what you need. Don't get blinded by long lists of features. That's actually just an easy sub-trick. But now, when we actually have gotten this far, it's actually time to look at the specific features, because we know what we want our system to do, and we know what we want it to integrate with, and so on and so forth. Now it's actually doing this. I usually like to put a nice to have or a must have next to my features, because a nice to have, yeah, it's a nice to have feature, but the system costs twice as much as the other one. Then I actually have to ask myself, is it worth that kind of money just for that nice to have feature? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But to do that and actually take your time doing that and have actually a really good think about this, because kill your darlings, friends. That is important, because I have asked client after client to do this, and everything is a must have. And when I point some critical questions towards them, yeah, quite a few must-haves actually are just, they're nice to have. They don't bring that much value. It's nice features, or it's cool features. Then, of course, basically the last thing you do is cost, because now we know our features, we know who has how many must-haves or how many nice-to-haves, and so on and so forth. We know if they're scalable. Maybe we have already, before this, stricken a few systems from our shortlist, and then we come down to cost, because cost will always affect your decision. There's no way around it. Of course, as companies, we are basically invented to make money, and that's what we do. Then we can do it in a good way or a bad way, but still, we are here to actually make money and create wealth and jobs. Our bottom line will be affected quite heavily on how much we spend on different systems. So this is a good place to have a look at cost. I have compared systems. Before I'm moving on to that slide, I want to say that what I have compared, it is hard to compare CRM systems, because someone has a certain feature as an enterprise feature, someone has that same as a basic feature, and so on and so forth. So they are moving around a bit. There aren't a perfect comparison. There just aren't. But what I've tried to do is actually looking at the midsection of the CRM system. So where I feel that here you get most functionality that you would actually at least need to have. So I haven't looked at the enterprise version. So the pricing we are looking for or on here is on from a Monday standpoint, it's a pro plan I'm looking at. Salesforce, I think it's called Business or something like that. So it's a mid-tier, and they're fairly comparable feature-wise from what you can do. Looking on the price table here, what we can see, there is a difference in how these different companies invoices. All of them are racking up their cost as a per month per user kind of a metric. But if we look at, for example, Dynamics and Salesforce, you can't pay monthly for them. So they will still invoice you yearly. Have that in mind, because it might come as a shocker if you have planned your liquidity in your company by action that you will pay them each month. You won't. You will pay yearly. That also means that most of these other SaaS systems, they have, if you pay monthly, it's a bit more expensive, and you get a rebate if you pay per annum. And that's what I have listed in the to the right column. So Salesforce and Dynamics, of course, don't have this kind of savings, because they are only available on a yearly plan. HubSpot has a 10% savings if you go from month to year. Soho and Monday have 20, and Pipedrive is somewhere in between with 17. As we see here, the price ranges are quite wide, where we see that Salesforce to the equivalent Monday plan is almost 10 times the price. That's kind of huge. And remember here, I have actually compared them feature-wise. So they are fully comparable, and basically the two systems can do, except for that Monday, as we said, could actually be a project management system or a ticketing system or whatever. When it comes to HubSpot is actually tricky, because HubSpot CRM is actually completely free, and that's no lie. Problem is that most features that you would expect from a standard CRM are hidden behind a paywall. So it's in what they call their sales hub. And that's what I have counted in here. So this is basically the price of their sales hub, which is $990 per year when you pay yearly per user. There are, of course, things here that you should compare, and it might be the cheapest, might not be the thing for you because you request or require certain things. For some of you it will be, but there are things to compare. But as we can see, CRM pricing, it's a huge span of different pricing alternatives we have. When we have talked about pricing, we need to talk a bit about security, especially if you're in with the European Union. And for those that work, I know there are a few Monday partners here as well and stuff like that. So if you work with European clients, this is something to try to remember. There are some security concerns. For example, where are the servers of the CRM? And to know if that's a question you need to answer, you should have done your question number 1. What is my CRM system supposed to do? Because then you know what kind of data you're probably going to store on your platform, on your CRM system. And then you might, as a European, actually need European servers or a very, very good privacy agreement between you and your clients and potential clients, and that might be hard and tricky. So it might be easier to just have a European server, store everything within the union. Most systems say they are GDPR certified. Well, most of those systems should have a caveat to that, because most of them are still running servers from the US. And according to the European courts, US servers aren't to be trusted. Have a think about that one. See what kind of data you need to store and how it's gauged, basically. This is important because it can cost a lot of money if you're a European. About 20 million euros is the starting point of those fines. So that's not a place you want to go. Moving on to one of the largest mistakes I see in my daily work, and something I do hope you're not about to make. When we are looking for a CRM system, basically any system, we are looking for something that will work for our company. And this is not like buying a car. You're not looking for something that's on 4 wheels and have a steering wheel and makes you go boom, boom forward. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something that will actually help our business to move forward, probably at a much better pace than what we're at the moment. So you will most probably gonna need to tailor make this system in some way, shape, or form. The big question here is how much help will you require to do those needed changes, or to even figure out what the possibilities here, what possible changes can you make, how can you do this? If you actually can make it technically, how much time will it take you to do it on your own? Because time in all businesses is money. So time you spend on this is time you don't spend on somewhere else, for example, on making more business for your company. So there's an offset cost to that. You need to have a look into this and actually calculate what it is, because I have been consulting so many companies that have implemented let's say larger name brands in the world of CRM and have come out of those deals paying for the system, but then paying tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars for years just to get the system where they want to go. So my biggest recommendation here is during your buying process, talk to a representative of the CRM, talk to a consultant partner of that CRM, gauge them as well and see where do we stand here and how much am I actually going to need to fork out to have the system I need. Another very good thing about that is talk to a representative when you're choosing a system, because I don't care how smart you are, you will not find all the features and all the functionalities of a modern CRM system. Not today, not in the trial periods given. I don't care if it's a week or a month. You will probably not find them because they aren't all that intuitive. So have a talk to someone and see what can be done and what can't be done, and if there's a workaround or whatever. So do that, please. It's usually completely free to do because it's basically a free sell meeting for them. So take the time, but go prepared into that meeting, both ask yourself and hopefully answered with you, so you can actually put them forward to that representative. This is one of the biggest things, together with the scalability of the system. So that's two of the things I really see in my daily work: scalability and having to switch systems later on, and misjudging how much help I'm actually going to need to get a system running. As a Monday consultant, I fairly often quite befuddled with how much time and money can be spent on a system, because I'm fairly used to it being quite straightforward and quite cheap, actually, towards the end. I'll ask those questions and make sure you do your homework here. So with that said, my friends, we're nearing the end here of today. So I haven't gotten any questions yet. If you're just a bit shy, you are always welcome to just email me at fredrik@omnitas.se, and we can have an email conversation, or have a look at our webpage and you can find my phone number as well if you'd rather call. Oh, here, Jorge. What is the most important feature the client look for in your side of the pond? The thing I see most nowadays is actually department interconnectivity. So actually having a workflow that goes over several departments and basically joining in all information, also in an automatic way. That's I would say that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, things like, yeah, we can email, or we have our calendar, stuff like that. That's just run-of-the-mill standard CRM, so not worth mentioning. But I would actually see that interconnectivity, and also having custom adaptation. Lots and lots and lots of custom adaptations. That's basically all I do. So if there's no more question, I do my naughty plugging, which I usually do at the end of these webinars. We at Omnitas, especially our marketing department, delivers new webinars, articles, and guides every week. There's always something happening. Make sure you subscribe to our monthly newsletter and follow us in social media, and including on YouTube nowadays, because they have really big plans on putting us out there. Make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and or YouTube, and sign up for that newsletter. And I would like to recommend to all of you, go to our website and have a look at the upcoming webinars, because 8th of September, I corrected myself there, we will have a webinar where we start our series of Build It Yourself. So then Thomas, our CEO, is going to join you and start from scratch and actually building a CRM. He will go through his thought process, need automations and integrations, and how we think in starting. So remember, this will be a whole series. So basically an episode a month, and Michael there posted the address to the website. Perfect. Thank you, Michael. So it will be huge thing. So basically one episode a month, building out a complete system. We're starting with CRM. Then we're actually going to let you decide where we take that. So you will be able to have input on what the next episodes are going to be about. So really take that chance, sign up right now for it, and don't miss your spot, because as with most of our webinars, we have restricted it to 100 seats. So be sure to be there first, because we are going by the old Swedish additive. The first who reaches the mill will first get his flower. So with that said, lovely to have all of you here. Take the best of care. For those of you on the other side of the pond, have a lovely day. For those of you here in Europe and in Asia, have a lovely evening and good night. See you soon. Take the best of care. Bye, everyone.